Have you ever stopped to think that maybe the most common idea we have about the end of the world might be completely backward? The Bible's final vision, it isn't about us escaping a burning planet. It's actually about the complete restoration of our world.
So what if the end isn't about destruction at all, but about a deep, total healing? This is the promise that's so often overlooked, hidden right there in biblical prophecy, a healed creation. The prophets described it with such certainty, a world so different from ours that it's honestly hard to even wrap our minds around it. I mean, just picture that for a second. A reality where the basic rule of nature, kill or be killed, is just gone. The wolf and the lamb literally living side by side. Think about it, a world with no war reports on the news, no air raid sirens, a world where conflict between nations is just a memory, a thing of the past. In a world where doing the right thing isn't this constant struggle, but it's the very air you breathe. Justice is steady, it's powerful, and it's life-giving, just like a massive river. And here's the part that really flips the script. So often we think the big hope is about leaving this world behind, but the biblical vision is the total opposite. It's not about our escape from creation, it's about the complete restoration of creation. So you might be asking, where does this incredible idea even come from? Well, let's dive in and look at what the ancient prophets actually had to say about a healed earth. What's so amazing is how specific this vision is. It's not just some vague, fuzzy feeling of peace. The prophet Isaiah talked about swords, weapons of war, being hammered into plows. He described animals living in harmony, people living long, full lives in totally secure cities, enjoying the work they do, with sorrow and crying all but gone. It's a tangible, real transformation of everything. And this is a really key distinction we have to get. The prophets weren't describing some disembodied spiritual heaven. Nope, they were describing a physical, renewed earth, finally working the way it was always meant to, under the perfect and just reign of God. History is heading toward this, not away from it. Of course, a kingdom like this, well, it needs a very special kind of king. So, who's the one that makes this whole restoration even possible? At the absolute heart of every single one of these prophecies is one person, the Messiah King. And he's not just some side character. He is the source, the very engine of the peace and justice that defines this new age. And just look at his track record here. This king doesn't rule through brute force and power, but through perfect righteousness. He goes out of his way to defend the poor and vulnerable. He puts a final, decisive end to all oppression, and he's the one who brings true, lasting peace to all the nations. You see, his character is what shapes the kingdom's character. And the New Testament doesn't leave us guessing. It makes the connection crystal clear. This prophesied king is Jesus. His mission wasn't just about saving individual souls, as important as that is, but about reclaiming and renewing all of creation. Okay, this all sounds absolutely incredible, but it brings up a really obvious and frankly painful question. If this is the promise, why does our world look so, well, different? Yeah, why do predators still kill? Why are nations still building weapons? And why does injustice seem to win the day so often? The Bible actually explains this deep tension between what was promised and what we see every day. The story the Bible tells is really consistent. It starts with a good creation, a world of justice, peace, and harmony. But then, human rebellion shattered that goodness, and that introduced injustice, violence, and rupture into literally every corner of the world. So the peaceful kingdom isn't just going back to the beginning. It's the promised restoration after the fall. And this is so crucial. The prophets weren't writing this stuff in a time of peace and quiet. They lived in a world run by brutal empires, with constant invasions and bloodshed. And right into that darkness, they had the nerve to announce this radical hope, that violence and death and injustice, they do not get the final say. All right, so let's pull all these threads together and really focus on the ultimate hope that this vision gives us for the future of our world. You see, the peaceful kingdom is about way more than just politics or how animals behave. It's the complete healing of relationships on every single level. First, our relationship with God is made right. That then leads to healing between people. From there, our relationship with the natural world is healed, and finally, even nature itself is healed from the inside out. It's a total, complete reversal of everything that went wrong.
So here's the bottom line. The prophets didn't see themselves as writing some beautiful fairy tale. They saw themselves as announcing a divine reality. This wasn't just wishful thinking. They were revealing God's ultimate, unshakable plan for the world He made and loves.
And you know, this hope has been hiding in plain sight for 2,000 years. When Jesus taught his followers how to pray, what did he say? He told them to ask for God's kingdom to come and his will to be done where? On earth. This has been the prayer all along.
And that brings us to the single most important takeaway from all of this. The final, amazing hope of the Bible is not about us escaping a doomed planet. It is about the rightful king coming back to make the entire world right, just like he always intended.
So, that leaves us with a pretty powerful question to think about. When you read these ancient prophecies, what do you see? Do you see them as a literal description of a future we're all heading towards, or more as powerful symbols of the kind of peace and justice God loves? It's definitely something worth pondering.